Now, I've been getting countless requests to do gluten-free recipes. A lot of us are unable to use a lot of gluten. Probably we are allergic to it or whatever it may be, or some of us are just looking for healthier alternatives. And as we get older, we tend to want to go that way when that should have been our first choice. I'm guilty of that. So then I'm going to show you how to make a pie using quinoa. So I'm going to use this brand of quinoa. It's from Kirtland. And I'm going to show you exactly how we're going to prepare it. First, I'm going to use 2 cups of this quinoa. And how I like to wash this quinoa is by placing it into a sieve and allowing running water to go through it while I rinse it out. So that is all we're going to do before we move to the next step, which is to boil our quinoa. I'm going to place in enough water to cover the quinoa, just to cover it. And then we're going to turn on the heat high under the quinoa and bring it up to a rapid boil. Then once it's up there, we're going to cover it and reduce the heat and allow it to simmer until it's cooked. When the quinoa is cooked, it looks like this. Our quinoa is ready and it's boiled. I have my quinoa, I have cheese, eggs, salt, pepper, some seasoning, and I have some coconut milk. So to begin, in this bowl here, I have my quinoa and I did add a bit of butter. Now you can add in some butter or you can choose to omit that butter. Or if you want to use some oil, you can use coconut oil. That will be perfect. You could put about a tablespoon of coconut oil. You can add it to this. So I'm just going to mix it in. I have my butter, and what happened, it melted because I placed it in when it was hot. And to this, I'm going to add in some salt. Now, if you added salt before, you don't need to put in, you may not need to put in any salt if you boil the quinoa in salt. Right? And I'm also going to put in some black pepper. You can substitute the black pepper, you can omit it, or you can substitute it with cayenne pepper. It's all up to you. So as I throw in the ingredients, I'm going to be mixing them because I want everything to be distributed evenly. This is onion powder. I'm going to put a bit inside of here. And if you have been here a while, you know that I enjoy garlic powder. So I have placed in some onion powder. And I'm also going to place in some garlic powder. You can choose to use the fresh product if you have it. When you use fresh products as opposed to using the dry one, you always get a different taste. And some people may prefer using the fresh, some people prefer using the grind, and some just don't have a choice. So it's just up to you. You can combine both. And now I'm going to add in some cheese now. You can use vegan cheese for this, or you can use cheddar cheese, whatever type of cheese you have. Ideally, this mixture should be hot so that it melts. Mine isn't that hot anymore, as I had a few things doing while I was preparing this as well. But ideally, it should be hot. But if it's not hot, you just want to take your time and really mix that cheese in well. Now you can also choose to blend all these ingredients, the cheese and the milk and the seasonings, in a bullet and just add it to the quinoa. It's a lot faster and it gives you better coverage. Before you put in your coconut milk, it's to taste and ensure that you have enough seasoning in there, enough salt, especially because when we put in the coconut milk and the eggs, we are not going to taste it. We're just going to put it up to bake. So that is what we're going to do next. Coconut milk. Now, of course, you can use any type of milk you want to use in here. But I went in the coconut milk and then in goes my eggs. What the egg does, it acts as a binder. You do not have to put in the egg. You can actually exclude the egg if you choose to. Because once you have enough cheese in there, it's going to bind properly. So our mixture is completed and it smells heavenly. It smells super delicious. It smells encouraging. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer it into a baking dish at this time. Make sure and have an appropriate size pan before you place in your quinoa mixture for the pie. Now this thing I mentioned already, the scent of it, it's really, really good. Come closer and see what's going on here. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm just leaving it perfecto. We're gonna top it off with some cheese. Yeah, as little or as much as your heart desire. But remember, in everything we must practice moderation. So it's time to get this in the oven, and we're gonna place it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes until you're satisfied. And now for our final product, we have a beautifully golden brown quinoa pie. It's delicious and it's nutritious. I hope you enjoyed my video. God bless you. Love.